Guys, let's get right into the best bets. I think we're going to start with Hitman this week. He hasn't been leading off because he's been losing, but he won last week, and we have to give him, it's just like golf, Hitman. You hit that birdie, you get honors the next week. So you're up. Hitman's best bet for the week.
All right, we're going to go the Thursday game. We're going to take the Saints, -1.5, shop around on the line. This is a game, the big question is Trevor Lawrence going to play in this game? I'll say that the media seems to be leaning towards he is playing. Some people that myself and others have talked to think it's a little bit more up in the air. Regardless, I lean towards the Saints, even if he does play. Obviously, if he doesn't play, we're going to get a line that's probably going to approach 4. The Saints defense been really good against the run. Just their defense in general, 5th in EPA per play, 3rd in success rate. The Jags are without cornerback Tyson Campbell, and even with him, they're allowing 8.6 yards per target to opposing wide receivers. One thing we know about the Saints is they do have a good trio of wide receivers in Olave, Michael Thomas, and Raheed Shaheed. Yes, the Saints do have O-line issues with injuries right now, but the Jags have really poor pass rush metrics of their own, so I don't know if they will be fully able to take advantage of it. And the situation, when we say situational Suma, we'll go situational Hitman. Jags playing their 3rd game in 10 days. They were in London for 2 games, back to Jacksonville with no bye. Now a short week traveling to the Saints. Think it's worth something to this game. And last week, the travel, and everybody says, oh, Jacksonville played good after that week of travel. 3.8 yards per play, 233 yards of total offense. Not exactly their best effort. Benefited from the 4 Colts turnovers. Lawrence, even if he does play, 23rd in EPA per play this year, and any extra injury to him, going to obviously limit his effectiveness. So give me the New Orleans Saints to move the win streak to 2 on Thursday night.
All right, Hitman targeting the Thursday night game. I'm not a short-term trends guy, but that's our 3rd Thursday night pick of the year. Suma got destroyed with the Packers against the Dolphins, but he has redeemed himself since. And I caught the Bears over against the Commanders a few weeks back as well. So if we like it, we'll play it, including the Thursday night. Suma, you also won last week. You tailed Hitman on the Vikings so that you would stay ahead of him in the standings no matter what. Pro move, completely understand it. You get the W. Now we need another W this week. What's it going to be and why?
It's going to be the Commies playing at the Giants. After reading today's practice report, which was still or even worse than I expected going into the week, I will probably like anything under -3 going forward this week. Justin Pugh just got signed to the active roster, and quoting will take at least some reps this week at left tackle. Andrew Thomas, DNP today, might need another week. Center John Michael Schmitz. It's a German name, by the way.
You don't have to point that out.
Seems likely to miss Evan Neal in practice, Matt Peart out of practice, and they lost their backup left tackle against the Bills. So this is going to be another week where the Giants O-line will be in shambles. I think that the Commanders will be able to control the line of scrimmage. Wink Martindale's man-heavy defense, lots of cover one and that kind of stuff. Sam Howell has played a little bit better against these middle-of-the-field close defenses this season, 48% success rate. I think that the Commanders will also have an advantage on the ground. Washington wants a lot of different stuff, inside zone, outside zone, man duo. They are the best at inside zone, and the Giants defense allows a whooping 49% success rate on inside zone, even worse on man duo, which the Commanders are second best at. I think that the Commanders should have a decent share on the ground, and I don't expect Sam Howell to look as bad, and I just don't think we will get anything from this Giants offense very soon. Tyrod Taylor probably starting. Daniel Jones was limited, but he's not cleared for contact yet. Makes it hard, I think, for him to play with a neck injury. 4 days out. So might be another week of rest for him. And yeah, Tyrod Taylor behind this O-line against the Commanders defensive line. I will take this all day.
All right. Suma going with the commies and pointing out that the Giants center does have a German surname as well. Dan Rivera in the chat, Giants O-line injury report is essentially everyone, as it has been for the majority of the season. All right, Eric, it's time to bounce back this week. I know you were probably like a 99% cover probability late in the fourth quarter against the Patriots, but cover probability doesn't mean anything to anyone. It's about the dollars that are in the bank account, in the sports betting account at the end of the week. So we need a winner. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, I mean, you can't feed your family with implied cover probability. I'm going to take the Seahawks minus 7.5. I like it out to basically minus 8.5. Well, actually, yeah, 7.5 out to minus 120, but also cheaper 8.5 as well. The Seattle's a top 10 offense in terms of EPA per play. The Arizona defense has been the Achilles heel this entire time, even when they have been competitive. I think Seattle moves the ball both on the ground and through the air in this one. And I think that their defense, as Rob, correct as somebody said, after giving up a couple of touchdowns early in that game, I think that they were still very impressive against the Bengals offense, where Joe Burrow didn't look inhibited by his calf. I think they legitimately stopped an okay offense last week. And Josh Dobbs will probably Daniel Jones his way into a few things that Seattle would be able to turn into touchdowns in this one. So I like Seattle big this week.
All right. And I'm going to end it off here trying to get back on track. You may have noticed I didn't give my opinion when we talked about the Philadelphia Eagles and the Miami Dolphins. That's because I wanted to save it to my best bet here. I like the Eagles quite a bit in this game. Now, granted, picking a game on Wednesday, that can have a lot of variance in the injury report. Right tackle Lane Johnson, Darius Slay, the center for the Miami Dolphins, Xavier Howard. The list goes on and on. There's a lot of variance overall in this game. I hate to overly simplify things, but I'll do it anyways. Miami's wins: Chargers, Patriots, Broncos, Giants, Panthers. All 5 of those teams rank in the bottom half of the league in terms of pressure rate this season. The one loss where the offense did not get it going was the Buffalo Bills, the number 1 pressure rate in the entire league. The Philadelphia Eagles have the 4th best pressure rate in football. Their defensive line owns a huge edge at the line of scrimmage here. I'm not saying the Dolphins are going to be completely shut down in this game, but I like the opportunity for the Eagles to get some stops in this game. On the other side of things, I really like this Eagles O-line against the Miami defensive front. We know the way Vic Fangio wants to play defense, keep things in front of him. I think Jalen Hurts, American last name, by the way, Jalen Hurts, American last name. I think he can work his way up the field against this Miami Dolphins defense. And then it's a matter of, can they score in the red zone? Well, I've referenced this before. I do think you're going to see some mean regression in terms of the Eagles' red zone offense. They're 23rd in red zone touchdown percentage this season, 45.5%. Last year, 68%. 2 years ago, 63%. I know it's a new offensive coordinator, but ultimately they have too many weapons to not score in the red zone. Miami's giving up a touchdown 2/3 of the time in the red zone. They're the 26th best red zone D in the league. I make this number just north of 3 with how I think the injury report is going to play out. I'm still very much a believer in the Eagles, even though I'm a Cowboys fan. Philadelphia has the best bet this week.